Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my channel. If you're new, make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. If you're not new, make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And I know, the Monday Mash Reactions is a little late today. I'm sorry. It's not even today, it's Tuesday. I'm sorry, but I will try to get this out by today, which is Tuesday. Not Wednesday. We're going to be reacting to Tyler Vitelli, lies that we all believed as kids. So, hold on. I'll give y'all a break to go get y'all snacks, because I'm going to get me a drink. And I'll be right back, y'all. Alright, I'm back. Got my drink. Let's do this.
You believe a lot of dumb things when you're a kid. Like if you swallow a piece of gum, it'll stay in your stomach for 7 years.
I never even believe that.
So let's talk about some of the lies we all fell for when we were younger, and how I found out that these lies weren't even real. Because looking back, we were all pretty stupid growing up, and between you and me, some of us still are. Wait, no, I wasn't talking about myself. Whatever, let's just get into it. So you might think to yourself, where did we even hear all these lies we believed as kids? Well, lucky for you, I know the answer. It was our parents. They were always the ones gaslighting us into believing things that weren't true. And they weren't even good lies. Like you would be passing by McDonald's and say,
"Hey Mom, can we get some food?"
And she'd just be like,
"Nah, McDonald's is closed."
First off, last time I checked, McDonald's is not Chick-fil-A. They don't close on any day. They would stay open during the apocalypse. And second of all, I literally could see people in the drive-thru. But why would parents lie to us as kids? They're the ones who tell us that lying is bad and we shouldn't do it. Well, I've interviewed my mom to find out exactly why parents did this, and this was her answer. This is actually a direct quote from her. Here we go. "Well, you were a very annoying kid growing up, and the only way I could get you to listen or behave was by lying to you." Thanks for the insight, Mom. I understand it now. I would have lied to me too. But the first big lie I believed as a child wasn't because of my parents. And
No.
This may be the last ad you ever see.
Ads, bro. I don't care
Because
about
of the
these
free
people
AdBlock
ads.
extension from Capital One Shopping, you can say goodbye.
And technically, it might actually be true. Like, there's no way for anyone to prove that it isn't true. The lie that my toys and stuffed animals came to life when I wasn't looking. Growing up, I was so confident this was real. I don't know if it was just because of watching Toy Story or just straight up schizophrenia, but I believed it. I was convinced that the second I left my room, my stuffed animals were throwing parties, gossiping about me, everything. I had evidence. Because when I was younger, my toys kept disappearing. I'd have a stuffed dog one day, and then a week later, gone. I'd get a toy from McDonald's when my mom finally would take me, but 3 days passed, it's nowhere to be seen. So in my mind, there was only one explanation. The toys were getting up and leaving. Maybe I wasn't a good enough owner. Maybe they found a better kid that would take care of them more. Maybe my farts just smelled too bad, so they got up and left when I wasn't looking. I wouldn't even blame them for that one, to be honest. I mean, I farted so hard one time, my hamster had a stroke. Those poor little creatures will die over anything. I mean, I wouldn't have even been surprised if there was a Reddit page the toys made just dedicated to hating on me. So to prove my theory right, I made a plan to catch my toys in the act. So I asked my parents for a motion sensor for Christmas, which they were really confused about, but I'm pretty sure they just figured this was my autism special interest at the time. So they bought it for me, and I set it up in my room. And then I put all my toys in a pile together and aimed the sensor right...
I'm gonna fix the lag real quick.
At them. But here was the weird part. My toys were still disappearing. Then one day, I'm sitting in the living room and I hear this noise coming from under the couch. So I get down on the floor and I look behind the couch. I'm thinking maybe a mouse is stuck under there. But what I actually saw shocked me, because underneath that couch was every single toy I thought ran away. My tiny stuffed dog, my kids' meal toys, my LeBron plush toy, all just completely covered in dust. Some of them were missing eyes because my cat must have been getting weird with them. So I grabbed them out from under the couch, and then my cat proceeded to take one from my hand hand and run away. That's when I realized he was the guilty one this whole time. He was stealing all my toys and playing with them, and then eventually losing them under the couch. So I did the only thing I could do in this situation. I fed my cat to a pack of wolves. No, I'm kidding. I didn't do that. It was just a joke, okay? My cat is so fat anyway that wolves wouldn't be able to eat him. But for this next lie, I was literally convinced I would die if I did it. Like, it was genuinely dangerous, and I still don't understand it. But this next lie is about the light inside your car. You know exactly what I'm talking about. If you even thought about turning on that light while the car was moving at night, your parents acted like you just activated a time bomb. You're in the car and you sneeze, which makes boogers fly everywhere. So you turn the light on to clean it up. But the moment you do that, your mom goes, "Turn that off right now." The way they said it was always so panicked. Like we were seconds away from a catastrophe happening. It was as if the button for the light in our car was actually the same button that launches the nuclear missiles. So naturally, because my parents freaked out so much every time I did this, I literally thought turning on the car light at night was illegal. It was the only explanation that made sense. If a cop drove by and saw your interior light was on, you're going to jail. And then when you get to court to see how long your sentence is, you realize that your homie is the judge and he gives you life in prison just as a silly little prank. So I was terrified of that light. If my hand even grazed the switch by accident, I'd have a full panic attack. And my parents never actually explained why it was so dangerous. They just yelled whenever I pressed it, which made it worse because my child brain filled in the blanks with increasingly disturbing scenarios. Like maybe the light blinds other drivers and it will make them veer off a cliff. Maybe it's a signal to the police that there's a child in the car who's getting kidnapped. It wasn't until I was like 13 that I actually found out it wasn't illegal because I was in the car with my friend and his mom and he reached for the button to turn the light on. But before he could do it, I slapped his hand and went, "What are you doing? You can't do that." And he just goes,
What are you talking about?
and when he turned it on, nothing happened. No one died. Well, at least not in that car, because statistically, like, someone dies about every 2 seconds, so I'm sure someone in the world just did, actually. And someone also probably just did right now. But anyways, I thought I would understand why parents were so freaky about this light when I began driving, but now I've been driving for 8 years, and I still don't understand it. Maybe I'll understand it more when I have kids, but at this point, me having kids is looking like a long shot. The worst part is, I'm scared of the dark, so I like when the light is on. And most of the lies we believed when we were younger aren't harmful at all. This next one was harmful, and it was disgusting. Because did anyone else assume growing up that actors who played relatives in movies were actually related in real life? Like Drake and Josh, or the Jonas Brothers. The logic was simple. I'm 5 years old, I'm watching a show where these people are brothers and sisters, and since I'm a dumb kid, I just assume they must be brother and sister in reality. But what made this so disgusting was the day I watched the movie Ferris Bueller's Day Off. If you've never seen this movie, it's about a guy named Ferris Bueller, but in the movie, he has a sister named Jeannie, and in the movie, they're like normal siblings. They fight, get mad at each other, very standard brother-sister stuff.
And then in real life, they're probably dating or something.
One day, I'm walking through the living room, and my mom's watching some entertainment news show. Then I look at the TV and see Ferris Bueller and his sister, and there they are on a red carpet together. Doesn't seem too weird until they turn toward each other and kiss, like full-on romantic kissing. Not a peck on the cheek, not a friendly hug. So I just point at the TV and go, ew. My mom looks at me, and this is how our interaction goes. "Oh, Tyler, grow up. They're just kissing." "You support this?" "Yeah, they're a cute couple. I don't see the issue with it." "Are you and Dad siblings too?" And after I said that, this was the moment I was taught that not all relatives in movies or shows are actually related in real life. So if you see someone making out with their sister on the red carpet, don't worry. It's not weird. Wait, please do not clip that out of context. Please.
Wait. What did he say?
That not all relatives in movies or shows are actually related in real life. So if you see someone making out with their sister on the red carpet, don't worry, it's not weird. Please do not clip that out of context. Please, I'm begging you. Let's move on. Do you see this face I'm making? Well, this face is actually very dangerous, and if you try to do it, bad things may happen. Well, at least that's what I used to believe growing up, but my parents told me the lie that we've all been told before. If you keep making that face, it'll get stuck that way. This is a classic parental threat that worked way too well, because it's pretty believable. Like, if you don't know how faces work as a kid, maybe it can get stuck like this. You've never tested the limits, but I've got some trauma with this lie, because for some reason, I was obsessed with rolling my eyes back into my head when I was younger. I don't know why. It didn't serve any purpose. It wasn't even comfortable, but I discovered this weird thing my body could do, and I was gonna exploit it. So I just walk around all day with my eyes rolled back like I was possessed, and my parents hated it. It looked like this. "Hey, Mom, what's up?" You're such a disappointment. Naturally, my parents hated when I did this. Every single time I did it, they'd hit me with the, "Your eyes are..."
Yeah, it's too dark for y'all to see.
I'm showing my way. If anybody wishes to follow, you're invited.
Oh my god, bro. Ads.
Eyes are gonna gonna stay like that. And whenever they'd say that, I'd stop immediately because the mental image of having permanently rolled back eyes was way too horrifying. I'd be walking around looking like a zombie for the rest of my life. Imagine trying to find a girlfriend or a job when you just look like this. Hey baby, wanna go on a date? I mean, to be fair, my eyes are fine and I still don't have either of those things, but I'm sure this wouldn't have helped. And I genuinely thought this one was true one day when I was yawning a bunch. I don't know if I just didn't get good sleep the night before, but after about the 500th yawn, my jaw got stuck like this. I literally couldn't move it. I was freaking out thinking, oh my gosh, they weren't lying. It's gonna be stuck like this forever. I can't live the rest of my life like this. What if a bird flies in my mouth? How do I defend against that? But my mom took me to the doctor and it turns out I just had lockjaw, which they were able to fix in like 3 seconds. To this day, I still can't open my jaw super wide because of that, which is super sad because I used to get a quadruple baconator at Wendy's, but now I can only fit 3 patties in my mouth. But do you guys remember when I swallowed a piece of gum in the beginning of the video? Probably not, because I think most of you just put these videos on in the background and don't even really listen to what I'm saying. Actually, let's test if that's true. If you're paying attention right now, comment the word purple pineapple. Well, I mean, I guess that's 2 words, but anyway, where was I?
Okay, bro, I guess purple pine well, I had it right the first time, my bad, bro. Yeah. What is the difference, bro? Purple pineapple. There we go.
Where was I? Ah, yes, swallowing gum. The one thing you never wanted to do, because if you did, apparently it would stay in your stomach for 7 years. 7 years. That's longer than some people's marriages. So just imagine how scared I was one time when I'm chewing some gum until my friend makes a funny joke, which causes me to laugh. And unfortunately, mid-laugh, I suffered the worst fate known to man. I swallowed the gum. And the second I realized what happened, I went straight to the bathroom. I had to get that gum out no matter what it took. So I did what any rational person would do, and I tried to throw it back up. I put fingers down my throat, gagged, and made my eyes water. But still, it wouldn't come up. So I had to face reality. I was going to carry this gum around inside me until I was in high school. This piece of gum was going to be with me for all my major life events. First day of middle school, gum would be there. First crush, gum would be there. Watching my sports teams choke every year, including to this day, gum would be there. So I went to my friend and told him what I just did, but he just looked at me like, okay, so I've swallowed like 10 pieces of gum before. It's not a problem. If you were wondering whether this was the same kid I said ate glue once, yes it was. I know, I had a weird friend group. I also ate glue once, but that's irrelevant. Does anyone even know where this lie came from though? Because I looked it up and apparently when you swallow gum, your body just digests it like any other food. So what is even the purpose behind spreading this lie? Unfortunately guys, the video is now in black and white. My room is literally black and white and this isn't just a filter I put on the video, okay? I'm just joking. Okay, editor, you can put the video back into color now. No, not like that. No, that's not quite right either. Yeah, okay, there we go. Okay, anyways, what I was... Are you serious? Okay, so the point I was trying to make with that segment is that I thought people saw the world in black and white before color TV was invented. In my child brain, it made perfect sense. Old TV shows show black and white because that's what the world looked like back then. Just like the wheel was invented, just like the Popeye's chicken sandwich was invented, one day, color was invented. Someone just decided to make color one day. It was probably just one of the many things LeBron created, I don't know. But I remember watching an old show once where a character pointed at a rainbow and said, "Wow, look at that beautiful rainbow." I looked at the TV screen and the rainbow was just shades of gray. So I'm sitting there thinking, wow, these people are really excited about a gray rainbow? They must have just never seen one with color in their life. The past was in black and white, and that's why old photos were black and white. That's why old movies were black and white. I was so convinced of this.
I actually thought that as well. I'm just guessing that they just never had to find out how to create the colors.
I asked my grandparents one time what it was like to grow up with the world being in black and white and then changing to color. The worst part about me asking this was they didn't even correct me. They were just like, oh yeah, it was cool. Seeing color for the first time is amazing. When a kid that was obsessed with film in my class told me color existed before color TV. How cameras could only capture black and white at first. Color film was developed later. All of this nerd stuff I don't even remember. And I just sat there, absorbing this information, feeling my entire understanding of history crumble. World War II, the Great Depression, happened in color. Now I know this next slide isn't real, but I want to start a petition to make it real because it just doesn't feel right any other way. Because when I was younger, I was fully convinced that teachers lived at school. They just stayed there all the time. Because where else would they go? The school was their home. I think the reasoning behind this belief was that teachers were always at school when I arrived in the morning, and they were still there when I left in the afternoon. Therefore, they never left that place. They must have lived there. Now, I've told you guys before about some of the horror stories I've had seeing my teacher in public and talking about how this could be scary, especially if it's a teacher you got beef with. But let me tell you about how I first discovered that this whole thing was a lie. Teachers actually have lives outside of school. At least most of them do. But the one who failed me in 7th grade math, that guy didn't have a life. I didn't forget about you, Mr. Clark. All you had to do was bump my grade 0.2%, and you couldn't do it because rules are rules. Sorry, guys, I just needed to get that off my chest. But the tragic day where I found out teachers actually do touch grass is when I went to the movie theater. I was there with some friends.
Now, I don't care if you're gardeners. I do not care. I do not care. I do not care. Just let me watch my videos, and please, I don't care about you, Goofy.
It's like a personal assistant. Learning your habits.
Some friends. I don't remember what we were going to see. Probably something sophisticated like the Cars movie. And of course, when you're in the theater, you have assigned seats. We picked the very back row so we could mess around a little bit. But when we arrived to our seats, you know who is literally one seat over from us? My teacher and a girl. The moment we made eye contact with each other, I don't know who was more disappointed because we both had a facial expression signaling that our night was ruined. But the seats were assigned and the theater was pretty full, so we couldn't just move seats. So we sat down next to him, and at first he tried to ignore us, but we could both feel the tension. So eventually he just goes, "Oh, hey gentlemen, didn't see you there." We said hi back to him, and that was it. Not another word for the whole movie. It was the most awkward experience I have ever had with a teacher, and I've accidentally called my teacher mom before. So who's with me? Who else believes that teachers should not be allowed to leave the school? I know it sounds cruel, but it's just too weird to see them outside of their natural habitat. You don't let the lions at the zoo outside of their enclosure? No, because that would result in chaos. People could die. And we could say the same thing about teachers being outside of school. But if you're thinking, Tyler, this is a bit dramatic, don't you think? Because the only reason I want this to be a rule in the first place is so Mr. Clark can't leave school and he's trapped there forever. So I'm willing to do whatever it takes to make sure this happens. Mr. Clark wasn't even a good teacher either. Like, if he actually did his job well, do you think I would have turned out like this? Don't answer that, actually. But Mr. Clark did such a bad job at teaching that I was still stupid when I finished the class. And if you don't think I'm being honest, well, just wait for this next thing I believed as a kid. Because I genuinely thought growing up that chocolate milk came from brown cows. This is a lie I believed because of an experience I had with a cow. I had family that lived on a farm in Oklahoma. I'm talking like true Southern people that talk like this and say y'all all the time. Y'all want to go to dinner? Y'all trying to go to Diddy's house? Okay, I'm sorry. Anyways, on this farm, my family had several cows, and one of them was brown. So in my mind, that meant one thing. That cow must produce chocolate milk. It wasn't Nesquik making the milk chocolate. It was these cows. And like any other kid, I love chocolate milk. So one day, I decided I want some chocolate milk right now. There's none in the house, but luckily, I've got a gold mine that makes its own chocolate milk in the backyard. Now, I couldn't tell my parents or my grandparents who actually owned the farm about this because they would have told me no. So I quietly snuck out to this barn when nobody was watching. I approached the brown cow with delusional confidence. He was just standing there. I said hi. He said, moo. Then I got up close and was ready to do the job, but I realized I had a significant problem. I've never milked a cow before. I have no idea how to do this. So now that I was standing there face to face with these udders, the whole thing just felt deeply wrong. Even the thought of just touching those udders felt inappropriate to me at that time. I reached my hand out toward the udder, but every time I got close, I pulled it back. Tried again, pulled it back. I did this probably 8 times because I really wanted that chocolate milk. The cow didn't even notice. It just kept eating hay, completely unbothered by me. After like 5 full minutes of doing this, I came to the conclusion I just couldn't. It felt too invasive, so I just walked away. Went back to the house with no chalky milk. But my grandpa saw me trying to sneak back inside the house and asked me what I was doing. Now my grandpa never judged me, so he was the one person that I felt like I could tell the truth to. I told him the whole thing. Then he took me back out there and taught me how to milk a cow. And that's when I realized I never want to milk a cow again. I also don't even know if it's safe to drink milk straight after milking it. But what do I know? Or at least I used to think I know. Something I used to think I know was that swimming immediately after eating something will hurt you, kill you even. This was treated as an undeniable law of nature. Where was the scientific studies backing this up? Well, I have it right here. It's called your mom. That sounded like I was trying to make a your mom joke. I wasn't. I was just saying that moms were usually the ones who made this up. Please tell your mom I apologize apologize for the joke I just made. And if she's single, please tell her to hit me
Oh.
up. Okay, I'm sorry, I'll stop. But I had to learn the hard way that this myth was not real when I was at a pool party for someone's birthday. And I just demolished a massive amount of food. Hot dogs, chips, watermelon, birthday cake, probably some candy. I was uncomfortably full. This is a problem I still have today. Like, if there's free food in front of me, I'm literally going to eat all of it. It's not even me doing it either. I just enter the flow state whenever I see food in front of me. So after eating everything in sight, including the table, my friends got in the pool.
He's on a seafood diet. When he sees foods, he eat it.
I was just chilling watching everyone else instead of actually going in because I knew I needed 30 minutes for my food to digest. And also, like I've said, I sucked at swimming when I was younger. But everyone kept calling for me to get in. Tyler, get in. We're starting Marco Polo.
Come on, Tyler, you're so hot and tall and have so much
Yeah. No one said that, bro.
aura. Get in.
But the point is, they really wanted me in that pool. So I convinced myself, I probably waited long enough. Surely the food digested by now, and my stomach wouldn't burst out with my organs splattering all over the place for everyone to see. So I got in the pool. Within 10 seconds of getting in the water, I threw up. Projectile vomited everything I'd eaten. Hot dogs, cake, watermelon, all of it in the pool. The screaming started right away. Kids scrambling out of the pool like I just released a bag of piranhas. The pool had to be completely evacuated. The birthday party basically ended right there. Someone's dad had to come out with the pool chemicals and cleaning supplies. No one got back in the pool for the rest of the party. So I just had to sit there, wrapped in a towel, dripping wet and covered in shame. So in my mind, this proved everything. The swimming after eating rule was real. For years after that, I never swam immediately after eating. I'd watch other people swim after eating and think, you're playing with fire, buddy. You're either gonna throw up or die. I've seen it firsthand. I became a lifeguard for pool parties, but instead of saving kids from drowning, I was saving kids from throwing up all over the place. If a kid actually was drowning, I couldn't do anything. And this is a lie that's pretty convincing. So it wasn't even until maybe last year where I found out there's actually no scientific evidence that swimming right after eating does anything. The whole thing is a myth. You can swim immediately after eating and you'll be totally fine. But I was like, no, that can't be true. I am proof that that's not true. But the more research I did and the more I thought about it, I started to realize, maybe it was the fact that I ate about 12,000 calories that caused me to throw up and not my toes just touching the water. So did I learn my lesson? No. I still eat everything in sight anytime there's free food. But from now on, when I do this, I just make sure there's a bathroom nearby. And speaking of bathroom, I really have to go poop. So I'm gonna have to end this video right here. Okay, bye guys.
Weird way to end off a video, but if you guys like that video, make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Wait,
I can't be everywhere at once.
Alright, I was gonna try it again. If you like this video, make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, and I'll see you guys in the next video.